This is Don at howtoairbrush.com, Airbrush Technique Magazine. In this beginner's tip, we're going to be looking at fluid nozzles, the two most common type. Here we have a Pache. Pache mostly have floating fluid nozzles. In other words, it just sits in there and self-aligns. Here we have a Badger Patriot, same thing. They may look a little different, but it's all self-centering. They just sit in there. Don't over-tighten the head when you go to put these back on. It doesn't take much. Make sure you get it sealed, but don't crank on it with a wrench or anything. Here we have a Iwata HPCS, again with a floating fluid nozzle. This is sort of a hybrid floating fluid nozzle. It has a screw-in tip at the very end. Again, it just sits in there. And finally, a Rich Pen 213C, finest detail airbrushes made by anybody, I believe. And 213C, like an Iwata Micron or Iwata HPCS or C plus, HPB, has a screw-in tip that comes with a little wrench. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Break it loose with a wrench and just unscrews. When you go to put it back in, make sure you get it started correctly so you don't cross-thread it. Turn it in by hand, take your little wrench and tighten it just a little bit. If you over-tighten it, it's easy to do. You'll snap the fluid nozzle off in the airbrush body. It's a problem you don't want to have to face if you don't have to. So be careful when you're tightening these. Out of the two different types of fluid nozzles, my personal opinion is you get better detail from the screw-in tip, but that's all it is, personal opinion. So those are the two most common types of fluid nozzles. Self-centering, just like friction fit, and a screw-in type. This is Don at howtoairbrush.com. Check the site out for hundreds of free airbrush tutorials, Airbrush Technique Magazine. If you have an iPad, you can download my Airbrush Magazine app on iTunes, iPad App Store. Until next time, it's just paint, have fun, relax.